In this video, I'm going to show you how to find different values for z star using the standard normal table. So suppose we want z star for a 95% confidence interval. Alright, so in order to find this, what we're going to do is we're first going to kind of draw a picture to help us. So we're going to start out by drawing our standard normal curve. We know it's centered at 0. And in order to find the z star, what we want to do is we want to put 0.95 of the area in the center of the curve, and we know that z star is going to be this endpoint here. So how can we use the standard normal table to help us? Well, remember that the standard normal table will give us the areas to the left of a point. So if we want this endpoint right here, we know that the area to the left of this point has to be the 0.95, and then we also have to account for this piece right here. Well, if 0.95 is in the center, then we know that 0.025 has to be in each of the tails. So in other words, we know that there is 0.975 area to the left of z star. So let's go and look at our standard normal table and see if we can figure out which z star has 0.975 area to the left. So we do that by going to our standard normal table. And remember that all of the numbers in the center tell us about areas. And again, we're looking for the area that has 0.975. So looking across the table, we want to find 0.975, or the number that is closest to it. So looking, notice right here, we have exactly 0.975. So that corresponds with a z of 1.96. So a z star for a 95% confidence interval is going to be 0.196. And that's exactly what we saw using StatKey, and that's also in those common z star value table in the notes. Let's look at another example. So let me kind of erase what I've got here. All right, so now suppose that we want to find the z star for a 99% confidence interval. Well, again, I'm going to draw my standard normal curve. It's centered at 0, but now we want 0.99 in the center. Well, if 0.99 is in the center, that means that I've got 0.01 left over to split between the two tails. So I'm going to have 0.005 and 0.005 in each of the tails. And again, my z star value is this endpoint down here. So this tells me that I'm looking for a z star that has 0.995 to the left of it. So we want z star with area 0.995 to the left. So I'm going to go over to my standard normal table. Kind of erase what we had before. And again, now I'm looking for 0.995. So kind of looking across here. Let's see, 0.995. Okay. Notice that 0.995 falls directly between these two numbers. So in other words, what I'm saying is it is between, well, the z that corresponds with this number is 2.57, and the z that corresponds to this number is 2.58. Since the area I'm interested is directly in between these two numbers, what that tells me is that my z star is going to be 2.575. Going back to here. So we have z star equals 2.575 for a 99% confidence interval. So again, if you go back and look at those common values for z star, you're going to see that that's one of those common values. So let's do one more. Kind of erase everything we got here. Okay. What if I wanted to find z star for an 80% confidence interval? So we want z star for 80% confidence interval. So again, I'm going to start out by drawing my standard normal curve. I'm going to put 0.8 in the center. Well, if 0.8 is in the center, that tells me that I'm going to have 0.1 in each of the tails. And here's my z star. So we know that we want z star with, notice this z star has 90% of the curve to the left of it. So we want z star with 0.9 area to the left. So again, let's go back to our standard normal table. And erase what we had before. All right, so now I'm looking for 0.9 in my areas. All right, so kind of scanning across here, we see that 0.9 is between these two numbers. Now notice that 0.9 is not directly in between these. 0.9 is actually closer to this value right here. So since it's not directly in the middle, we're not going to do what we did with the last one. We're just going to take this value. And so notice this corresponds to a z of 1.28. So going back to here, we have z star equals 1.28 for 80% confidence interval.